We thank God for the book of Isaiah and what we are learning in it. And today we will continue in that discussion. Let's read Isaiah 8. Isaiah 8 from verse 1. The Lord said to me, I'm reading from the English Standard Version, take a large tablet and write on it in common characters belonging to Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz, and I will get reliable witnesses, Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah, to attest for me. And I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. Then the Lord said to me, call his name Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz, for before the boy knows how to cry, my father or my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried away before the king of Assyria. The Lord spoke to me again, before these people has refused the waters of, because these people have refused the water of Shiloh that flowed gently and rejoiced over Rezin and the son of Remaliah. Therefore, behold, the Lord is bringing up against them the waters of the river, mighty and many, the king of Assyria and all his glory. And it will rise over all its channels and go over all its banks. And it will sweep on into Judah. It will overflow and pass on, reaching even to the neck, and its outspread wings will feel the breath of your land. O Emmanuel, be broken, you people, and be shattered. Give ear, all you far countries. Strap on your armor and be shattered. Strap on your armor and be shattered. Take counsel together, but it will come to nothing. Speak a word, but it will not stand, for God is with us. For the Lord spoke thus to me, with his strong hand upon me, and warned me not to walk in the way of these people, saying, do not call conspiracy all that these people calls conspiracy. Do not fear what they fear, nor be in dread. But the Lord of your hosts, him you shall honor as holy. Let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he will become a sanctuary and a stone of offense and a rock of stumbling to both houses of Israel, and a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many shall stumble on it, they shall fall and be broken, they shall be snared and taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the teaching among my disciples. I will wait for the Lord, who is hiding his face from the house of Jacob, and I will hope in him. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord has given me are signs and portents in Israel from the Lord of hosts, who dwells on Mount Zion. And when they say to you, inquire of the mediums and the necromancers, who chirp and neuter, should not a people inquire of their God? Should they inquire of the dead on behalf of the living? To the teaching and to the testimony. If they will not speak according to this word, it is because they have no dawn. They will pass through the land, greatly distressed and hungry. And when they are hungry, they will be enraged and will speak contemptuously against their king and their God, and turn their faces upward, and they will look to the earth, but behold, distress and darkness, the gloom of anguish, and they will be thrust into thick darkness. So this chapter of Isaiah falls in the same line where it's a continuation of chapter 7, something that we looked at 2 weeks ago under the topic standing firm in your faith. And the message of this passage reminds me of something, a reality that we faced in our country between 2011 all the way to this present season. And it's something in politics. We're in the season of politics. So this will resonate well with us. I remember when our president, Yar'Adua, died, and there was so much clamor by the leaders that we need a leader we can trust. We need a Christian leader. Somebody that will be used by the Lord. And you know, it's almost like, I don't know what it is, but when somebody is working in the interim, they seem to do a really great job. But then when they get the full mantle, a lot of things happen. And you know, and believers went out en masse and voted for Goodluck Jonathan that year. And he was almost seen as a savior, right? Then when 2015 came, Goodluck won informally an award of the most insulted president, abused president in the world, because everybody just got disappointed in the man. Like, is this what we voted for? You know, and then lo and behold, the savior came, the one that actually was called the savior, because there were people that actually called him savior, and we got that one. And I really don't think the insults that we put on President Buhari by the end of last year were any less than the ones that Goodluck received. You know, it's the same thing. We still insulted him, and we just felt this savior has become a lion. You know, so and there was just so much disappointment, you know, in the air, and even up to today, you still listen to the news, you hear that. Then some people took advantage of that, or they tried to take advantage of that, and talked about working again, right? They wanted, and they sold the idea of working again. Now the question that is on my mind, based on the precedents that we have observed, would it have really worked? Would it have really worked? Because over 3 different presidents, we were disappointed. Would it have worked? Really? Is it possible that he would have come and after 4 years, he would still win the title of the most abused president in the world? You know? So I'll allow you to think about that, but the main point is, what really is happening with the human mind? What is happening to us that we seem to have so much great confidence in people? That we seem to have so much great confidence in what human beings are and who they are and what they can do. And if you go around the whole world, when Macron became president, everyone was celebrating. He came to Nigeria, we were all, less than 40, president. And then how old is he in presidency? And we have the yellow vests whole thing, right? Even the whole France, they were just so happy that this man is president, and there was just so much confidence in this man. And already they are disappointed. And based on that, I have the suspicion that even the best human beings, the best potential presidents at the end of the day will still disappoint people. And why is it so? Why? That is what we will look at. Based on that, we will look at the topic today. It is foolish to trust in and fear man. It is foolish to trust in and fear man. Like I said, the passage we read is connected to chapter 7 of Isaiah, and we read the background of this story in 2 Kings chapter 16. Something happened between 2 brothers, and they involved 2 other pagans. So maybe I'll give you some small analogy. So we have these 2 brothers. So I'll call brother A. I'll call Moreno. Moreno, can you come? And Samson is the other brother. But there are actually 12 brothers. But let's assume that these ones are the 12 at the moment. So they had a fight. You cannot, don't fight. They had a fight, then 2 out of the 12 brothers went the other way, so you can go the other way. Then 10 stayed this way. So this 10 is referred to as Israel, or is referred to as, they are actually Israel, and the headquarters is in Samaria. You hear that a lot. They are the northern kingdom. Then these 2 here, represented by my brother here. Now, this is 10, and this is 2. So represented by my brother here, they are Judah. Their headquarters is Jerusalem. Their headquarters is Jerusalem. And you know the problem that already happened. So this brother, these 10 brothers went and invited another brother. And okay, let me invite another brother. Imam, could you help please? Now this one actually is not their brother. He is a pagan. And he's called Syria. He's called Syria. So he now connived with this one, and they wanted to go and destroy this one. So you can go now. 2 of them, yes. But you will not destroy it. But when they went, they could not destroy him. So they laid a siege. A siege is that you block the city, you cover the city, people cannot come out to farm, you cannot come out to get food or water or anything. So he blocked him. Now, it was during the time of this blocking, his heart was filled with fear. That king is called, the king of these 2 brothers is called Ahaz. If you read chapter 16 of 2 Kings. So he was really afraid. And Isaiah told him in chapter 7 that do not be afraid. Stand firm. Just call upon the Lord. And Isaiah even told him that the Lord asked me for a sign, and I will give you a sign to show you that what I am telling you will actually happen. But this guy was overwhelmed with fear. So he now sent messengers, and they snuck out through the siege and went to another superpower. Now this superpower was so powerful. His name is Assyria. He's also a pagan. So Assyria. So because he is high, you will stand here. You can just climb up the top, and you're the big guy, so you can climb up there. Yes. Great. So you can see he's looking at all of them. You know. So he went and he sent out messengers, and he told Assyria that you know that I am your son, this is what is happening, this is what is happening, while he was still under siege by these people. And as a result of this alliance that he made, so many things happened, and we will look at that, including the borrowing of gods and all of that. So he formed this alliance, and Assyria, with his power and might, as we will see, now came and dealt with this pagan and this brother to this other brother. So you can deal with this too. Now, so when he dealt with him, it was now the 2 of them standing. And you know that in every relationship, opposition increases bonding. When you have a common enemy, you become friends or brothers, right? And just a tiny little secret to parents: if your girl is going out with a boy that you don't like, don't oppose them. Because if you oppose them, the more they will like each other. Okay. So allow them to continue. They will just continue on the normal ground, they will face each other, then they will know really who I'm dealing with. On their own, they will break up. But if they don't, his relationship is working. So this is what happened between these 2 guys. So they now began to face each other. Assyria now saw what Judah was made of, which included betrayal. And Judah now saw what Assyria was made of, which included bullying. So we can now bully. So Judah, you can go. So now, it was now left for this guy and the Lord himself. And I'm the Lord. Now had to deal with with Assyria. So that was what happened between these people. Now, the prophecy that the Lord gave to Isaiah in chapter 7 and chapter 8 is all about these arrangements that happened. Instead of Judah to trust in the Lord, they decided to trust the almighty Assyria. And they invited Assyria, a country that was ungodly, to come and rescue them from these other two great countries. And you can see here that the prophecy that the Lord gave Isaiah here was used to present what the Lord thought through the symbol of the children of Isaiah. And the name of this child that the Lord gave is Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz. That is a very long name. It has 4 words. And I think maybe the Yoruba language may have some connection with Hebrew, because they have such, you see one name and it's a full sentence. You know, it's so rich, it has real meaty content. So, but the meaning of this name is make speed to spoil and hasty to plunder. Make speed to spoil and hasten to plunder. So it was not a good message. It was a very difficult one that was promising ruin and destruction for both Judah and Israel, for both of them. So the children of Isaiah's children became an embodiment of this message. And if you remember in chapter 7, we spoke about how Isaiah talked about how a virgin will give birth. And we said, we discussed on how this has 2 meanings. Meaning Isaiah is actually going to have a wife and have a child. So this is this child. But the fulfillment, the ultimate fulfillment of that passage, a virgin will bear a child and you shall call him Emmanuel, is in Jesus Christ. So this child has arrived through his wife, the prophetess. Through his wife, the prophetess. And you know, Isaiah's family completely conveys the message of the Lord, and it captures what the Lord was presenting to people. And when I was thinking, as a side note, when I was thinking about that, I just see how the minister's family, whether they like it or not, is an automatic part of the message of their father. You know, and as a pastor's child, some of the pressures that we have to go through is the fact that if you do something, you know, every other child in the compound or in the village is able to insult someone. But when they insult you and you insult back, they say, you're a pastor. You even a pastor, sorry, you're doing this thing. You know, and that the message of the minister of the Lord is the burden of his ministry is placed upon his family by default. Whether they bought it or not, it is part of their calling. And that is what is being reflected here. But the point is, this child's name conveys what was about to happen to the children of Israel. So he used this boy to tell Judah and even Israel that what is about to befall you is hard and difficult. And he addressed the foolishness of Ahaz's distrust in God and trust in man. That Ahaz refused to wait upon the Lord and waited upon man. He refused to ask God for help, but he went to a man. Even when God told him, don't do it. And you know, it is just foolish to think that a man can rescue, a man can help. And to put one's trust in fellow humans is indeed unwise. The Lord said it in Jeremiah chapter 17. Let's read it. Jeremiah 17 verse 5. says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart turns away from the Lord. He is like a shrub in the desert and shall not see any good coming. He shall dwell in the parched place of the wilderness in an uninhabited salt land. So it is stated clearly, it is unwise to trust man. It is unwise. And why is it so? The first reason is that man betrays us, but God is always with us. Man betrays, but God is always. Let's go back to Isaiah. The prophet takes time to explain the nature of the sin of the children of Israel in those days. And the fundamental part of this sin is how the king of Judah trusted man instead of God. And Isaiah describes the nature of this distrust. It is not only distrust, but that the children of Israel rejected God's protection and went after man's protection. And if you go to verse 5, you will see how the prophet metaphorically describes him. He said, the Lord spoke to me again, because the people have refused the water of Shiloh. Now Shiloh was a little spring. It was a spring, a reservoir that provided drinking water as well as served gardens and blossomed the city. It was a gentle spring that consistently watered the city of Jerusalem. That the city did not lack water, that a fertile ground was established in the desert as a result of the waters of Shiloh. So what was happening here? Isaiah was telling them, hey, he was using that metaphor of the city to tell them, I have provided you something that gives life. Fresh water. That waters your city, that gives you water to drink, that sustains life. But see what they did. In verse 7. Therefore, behold, the Lord is bringing up against them. So they refused the water and they now rejoiced over a man, Rezin, the king of Remaliah. So you just see how he keeps interplaying the metaphor of the fresh water of Shiloh and this human being that will disappoint them. And how did he describe them? So the Lord now said, you have refused this water. Therefore, I'm going to bring something to you. I'm going to bring a mighty flood. I'll bring up against them the waters of the river. And what is the river? It is the river Euphrates, because Assyria was found around that region. Now this river was mighty and many. In the NIV, I think it says mighty water, right? Mighty waters. It was massive. The king of Assyria and all his glory. And the description that is used here, see the way Isaiah takes time to describe in graphics, images, what is going to happen with these mighty and many waters. And the waters that are described here are actually waters that cannot be taken. They are destructive waters. Waters that you see in hurricanes. Waters that come and pack. You remember what happened in Mozambique recently, right? But we remember the hurricane, the tsunami rather. The one that happened in Haiti that up till today they are still rebuilding. It comes and packs everything that stands on its way. Those are the kind of waters that the children of Judah chose over a gentle spring. But not only that, this was salty water, water you cannot drink. They are waters that will kill. And see how he describes it. Go to verse 7b. And it will rise up and all its channels and go over its banks, and it will sweep on into Judah. It will overflow and pass on, reaching even to the neck, and its outspread wings will fill the breadth of your land. It will engulf the land. But even in that, there is still some hope. He said it will stop at the neck. It's not going to cover the head. Isaiah is still presenting the merciful, graceful act of remaining a small remnant for what the Lord is about to do. But that was what happened when they chose to not go with God, to not trust God. This was what they were choosing. This was what they were choosing. So the great truth of this chapter tells us that the moment we refuse God and choose man, we are actually choosing our destroyer. And this happened. This happened 2 years after the prophecy was made. When the boy could say, Father, Mother, the destruction took place. It took place. But you see, the Lord had promised them in chapter 7. He said, his name shall be called who? Emmanuel, which means what? God with us. So when Isaiah mentioned what was going to happen, he now exclaims, oh, Emmanuel, if only you had chosen Emmanuel, God with us. God with us. So even though the nations will rise and war cry and are prepared against Judah, if they had just stayed with the Lord, Emmanuel. In verse 10, take counsel together, but it will come to nothing. Speak a word, and it will not stand, for God is with us. That is what would have happened. That is what would have happened. That was the assurance that God gave them. And you know, that is the assurance that we receive today. God is with us. That in the midst of every form of opposition, God is with us. It is this oppression and opposition that pushes us to go unto men and not stay with God. But in the midst of this opposition, and whatever suffering we may go through as a result of our faith, we should remember Emmanuel, God with us. In Him, no matter how bad the circumstances, He would not have deserted them. But does that mean that we should not seek human help? Does that mean that we cannot receive help or aid from humans, especially humans that we have meaningful relationships with? I like the way John Calvin mentions it, answers that question. He says, if it was objected that we ought not to reject human aid, the answer is easy. The prophet does not condemn human aid, but he condemns that wicked fear by which we are thrown into distrust and tremble so that no promise of God can keep us within reasonable bounds. That is rejected. Now we ought to render to God His honor, that though all things else should fail, we shall be satisfied with Him alone, and shall be convinced that He is at hand. And in that case, it matters little whether we have or have not outward assistance. If we have it, we are at liberty to use it. If we have it not, let us bear the want of it with patience, and let God alone suffice us for all that we need. For He will be able to execute His promises, since He has no need of any outward aid. Only let us trust entirely to His power and defense. So when human aid becomes the aid that we totally trust on, that is rejected. When the source of our lives is a human being, the source of our failure will still be the human being. We should expect man to fail us. Man is naturally already a dependent being, and is in himself in need of help. Man is in himself in need of help. So how can someone that that is in need of help be your total help. This renders man incapable of being very dependent, very dependable. Like Professor Turaki will say, man is a miserable, helpless being. In Hebrews chapter 13, I would love us to read it. Hebrews 13 verse 5. It says, keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? The Lord is with us. Second reason why we should not trust man, it is foolish to trust man, is because our lives, when we base our lives on fellow humans, the human heart is already corrupt. The human heart is already corrupt, that it cannot give us what it takes to sustain lives. Because of man's poor judgment, impatience, and dependence on what is seen and not what is unseen, man abandons the ways of the Lord in pursuit of the ways of men. This makes man undependable. The Lord gave Isaiah a strong warning. Let's go to verse 11 of our passage. For the Lord spoke first to me with his strong hand upon me, and warned me not to walk in the way of these people, saying. So, the strong arm of the Lord upon Isaiah is just an analogy that he used to explain how a father will talk to his son. Maybe when the father tells the son, don't climb this table. If you climb this table, you will fall. And the son still goes ahead and climbs. And the father comes and holds his hand so tightly and tells him, I told you if you climb this table, you will fall. So that is how God was talking to him, because the children of Judah were so strong-headed that they never listened. Possibly, Isaiah was getting tempted. His message was not making headway. People were not listening. So the Lord now warns him, said, do not make the mistake of having the same belief as they do. Do not make that mistake. The Lord held him so tight and told him. And sometimes the Lord just needs to shake us in that manner in order for us to listen to him. Because most times we do not listen. That the Lord wants to hold us and shake the devil out of us. Listen, maybe by some consequences of our wrong decisions. So the people thought it to be a conspiracy, that these two nations, Israel and Syria, were conspiring against them. And fear was already gripping them. And truly, conspiracy is a product of fear. It is a product of fear. And we know that the first place that a believer receives his defeat from the devil is through fear. And fear of who? Fear of man. So the Lord was telling Isaiah, do not say conspiracy what they say is conspiracy, and do not be afraid of what they are afraid of. Do not be afraid of what they are afraid of. Verse 13, but the Lord of hosts, him you shall honor as holy. Let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. That is the only person we are to fear. When people are afraid, they conspire. And most times, when people conspire and they succeed, they seem to be succeeding, the children of God are tempted to follow them and conspire and do like they do. Israel conspired with Syria. And what happened to Judah? solve our problems. Human beings have never solved our problems. But this is what the Lord told Isaiah. The Lord himself should be your focus. And why is it so? When we consider the Lord to be holy in our life, he becomes everything to us. And we will see how. Our fears flee when they meet our God. And that is why the Lord was telling Isaiah, do not focus on this fear. Rather fear me. Look at me. When we replace the fear of man with the fear of our God, even the man we fear will begin to fear our God. As the center of our lives, God must be the central focus. And this focus should be on him. We should seek him and his holiness. And reverence for God is the primary duty of all believers. So when the believer focuses on reverencing God, every form of sin, including the sin of fearing man, every form of that sin is going to be eliminated. In 1 Peter chapter 3, from verse 13 to 16, the Apostle Peter said this, who is going to harm you if you are eager to do good? But even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear what they fear. Do not be frightened. But in your heart, set apart Christ as Lord. Our focus is Christ. Perhaps the reason why we choose to please man over God is because maybe our reverence, our commitment, and our passion for God is so light in weight. But if it's so weighty, we will choose to fear God instead of man. Sometimes it seems futile to fear God. But when we trust God more and not man, this is what happens. In verse 14, the Lord will be our sanctuary when we fear him. That is what it says. And he will become your sanctuary, and a stone of offense, and a rock of stumbling to both houses of Israel, a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. The Lord will be our sanctuary. We will continually dwell in him. And see, he says the Lord will be a stone of defense. Did he say defense there? Look at the Bible. A stone of what? Offense. From my version here, it says the Lord will be a stone of offense. This is an assurance that when the enemy comes around, the Lord will not only defend us, he will advance against our enemies. That is what the Lord will do. That anyone who touches the children of God will be touching God. Anyone who fights the children of God will be fighting God. And finally, one reason why we should not trust man but trust God is because man is idolatrous, but God is God. God is God. In verse 16, bind up the testimony, seal the teaching among the disciples. I will wait for the Lord who is hiding his face from the house of Jacob, and I will hope in him. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord has given me are signs and portents in Israel from the Lord of hosts who dwells on Mount Zion. And when they say to you, inquire of the mediums and the necromancers who chirp and mutter. You know chirp and... You know, that sounds familiar, Nigerian movie, right? Should not the people inquire of their God? Should they inquire of the dead on behalf of the living? And you know, it is sad that the children of Israel had copied what their neighboring ungodly countries were doing. And their king, Ahaz, exemplified it. He went to Damascus to see the king of Syria. And he saw a god there. He copied the dimensions and the design of the god and sent it back home to the priest and told the priest to design exactly the same God for him. So that when he comes back, no wasting of time, he will just start to worship. And he will sacrifice his son. And I think idolatry is seated at the top of this belief. That when there is fear and people begin to distrust God, the next thing that happens is that there is a replacement of God in our lives. When something else takes the place of God, as a result of the lack of confidence in God, disbelief has set in. And that is what is happening here. And you know, believers have just find ourselves in this whole mess. People come to church daily, see them worship and praise and everything, but after that, we see these mediums, these fortune tellers, people that look and see our future and tell us that this is what is about to happen. You should do this and that and that and that. And what has made matters worse is what has happened, that this whole thing is found in the church, so-called church. That people even use the name of God to tell you that they've seen through your future and this is what is going on in your life. And you know, when you just look at this thing, it just looks so clear. This looks like witchcraft. This looks like witchcraft. And you know, one of those things that I really don't like about these things is this kind of churches that tell you they've seen through your future. Now, I don't say the Lord doesn't tell people that, no. But you know, there is this whole breakage of relationships that happen. You go and they tell you your father is the one doing this and your mother is the one doing this. They have tied your soul under an iroko tree close to the stream in your village, and this and that, you know, and fear grips your heart. And what that has done is that it has tied your soul to this man that tells you the unknown. But hey, when we face the unknown, who should we go to? Should we go to the dead to pray for the living? That is foolishness. As a matter of fact, the Bible has told us that we have an unhindered access to the Lord. What man does when we trust man is they replace God in our hearts. They take away God and put another God in our hearts. As we close, I think about the analogy I started with, the politics of our country. How believers are tempted to do things, even evil things, because we are calling conspiracy what they call conspiracy. And we fear man as they fear man. And I remember during these elections, some people were happy and some were sad. People that won were happy and people that lost were sad. Brothers and sisters, they are the same thing. The only difference is God. If you have won, do not rejoice too much, because man on his own will fail us. If you have lost, do not be sad, because our consolation, the one that keeps us, is who? Is God. Is God. Trust me, come 2023, we will shout, remove this government, bring this Savior, bring that Savior. If they don't seek God. Every 4 years, that is how we will continue to do it. Every 4 years. And in our personal lives, have you placed man in your heart? Do you trust people more than you trust God? Has somebody become a God in your life? Or are you facing intense pressure from opposition that you are tempted? Remember, God with us. God with us. Stand firm in your faith. Do not be discouraged. In closing, I would love us to read Psalm 118, and I would love us to stand from verse 5 to verse 15 and read this passage. And I want you to pay attention to the words of this psalm. See how the psalmist declares his confidence in God and not man. Psalm 118 from verse 5 to 15. May we be on our feet, please. Let's read. Out of my distress, I called on the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me free. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? The Lord is on my side as my helper. I shall look in triumph on those who hate me. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. All nations surrounded me. In the name of the Lord, I cut them off. They surrounded me on every side. And in the name of the Lord, I cut them off. They surrounded me like bees. They went out like fire among thorns. In the name of the Lord, I cut them off. I was pushed hard so that I was falling, but the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. Glad songs of salvation are in the tents of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord does brilliantly. The right hand of the Lord exalts. The right hand of the Lord does brilliantly. May this be our reflection and our position with the Lord in Jesus' name.